From Fort Langley to Squamish, Surrey to space. We're all about Movember, arts and culture today on The Express.
On today's show, how to improve your health and happiness with Tai Chi.
Your whole body is just smile.
I thought if there was ever a time to do it, this was it was the right cause and the right time.
Movember meetings and mows.
It stares at stars and it determines the amount of light.
UBC Star Search in the sky. The art of Stu Richardson. See that and more local expression.
Welcome to The Express, only on Shaw TV. I'm Johanna Ward at the Surrey Arts Centre, a place known for its innovative programming. Like Remix Surrey, it's a youth media project, one of their permanent exhibitions, and we're going to tell you more about it throughout today's show. First, we want to talk about a place that's known for its rock climbing, its mountain biking, its kite surfing, Squamish, right? Well, it's also home to an ancient practice that's quite a bit more slower paced, although it is gaining momentum when it comes to modern day relevance and popularity.
Tai Chi makes you move your whole joint, whole body, muscle and tendon and everything. Everything. And every part has to be moving gracefully.
Heather Donaldson has been a volunteer Taoist Tai Chi instructor for 10 years. And for people like Harry Wong, who will turn 90 this year, her instruction has become part of his everyday life.
Every morning I get up first thing, Tai Chi. And what she asked me to do, everything. I think about my waist, my joint, my shoulder, fingertips, everything. And my knees, everything must be relaxed. Nothing serious.
Wave hands like clouds, retreat to ridge tiger, pat the horse. These ancient movements can help modern ailments like lower back pain from a badly adjusted office chair, repetitive strain injuries caused by keyboards, and hunched shoulders from staring at the computer screen.
It was called Wave Hands Like Clouds. A lot of the moves' names are imitating animals or nature. The original Tai Chi forms were meant for protection against animals and invaders and that sort of thing. It still has a good, solid, almost martial art kind of property to it, but we don't fight, so we actually practice it with health in mind, and the art was kind of developed with our health needs in our modern society. Tai Chi offers the stress reduction, both in terms of how it relaxes the body physically, but it's kind of like a meditation in motion. Mind-body is one thing together. So that is one thing that makes Tai Chi unique from other exercises. It's called an art, it's not just an exercise.
There is a spirit to Tai Chi, one of inclusion and compassion. Heather and her 2 apprentice instructors are part of a Tai Chi family, which hopes to bring the benefits of this ancient art to those around them.
All the Tai Chi instructors are volunteers. It's run by volunteers, and if you want to expand your knowledge and abilities, teaching is the next step. I think I'm learning more than the students do as I teach them.
It still does have a stereotype of being for older people, and that is a stereotype. It really can serve people from a very young age throughout life. It's unfortunate because it can certainly benefit people when they're in the more stressful periods of their lives.
Tai Chi dates back to the 11th century, but you can see how this ancient art still has a presence today, and why it's becoming one of the fastest growing practices in the health and fitness industry.
When you practice a lot of Tai Chi, you can actually feel almost like you're buzzing with energy. Some people find they have trouble sleeping. It's one of those many paradoxes we get from Tai Chi. You're energized yet relaxed.
When you literally feel so happy, your whole body is just smile and gracefully. And my dancing improved so much because of Tai Chi. Make people do Tai Chi. It's the best.
This is Dee Raffo waving hands like clouds in Squamish for the Express.
The classes take place at St. John's Anglican Church Hall in Squamish every Monday from 7:30 to 9:30. Focus your mind, find your inner calm by joining a class today. Another thing you can start doing today, grow your mo. Movember kicked off last week, so here in Surrey and all around Metro Vancouver, we're seeing more and more mustaches. Express reporter Peter Verge is the chair of Movember Vancouver, and he has more for us on why this cause is so important and how you can get involved.
You've heard of charity campaigns where people cut their hair for cancer, but this one is the opposite. It's called Movember, or the month formerly known as November, where men start clean shaven on Movember 1st and grow a mustache all month long to raise money and awareness for Prostate Cancer Canada. Travis Gorez is a barber at JD's Barbershop who's helping men with their first official shave of the month. But he's also participating in Movember for personal reasons.
The last time that I really had a good cry was when my grandfather, who literally is my favorite person in the whole world, he got checked and he had like a node in his prostate, and he literally is awesome, you know. And it's like the only time that he's ever been worried, and it really hit me.
On top of growing a mustache, Travis will be giving a portion of his wage to Movember.
On the 18th and 19th, I will be donating half of my wages and all of my gratuities. So please come on by for a complimentary scotch and a haircut. And tip big, because I won't be keeping it.
JD's Barbershop is one of hundreds of businesses across Canada participating in Movember. Just around the corner from them is the Charles Bar, where they'll also be donating a portion of their profits to the cause.
We're actually doing one event on November 10th, long weekend. Basically all the door is going to the prostate cancer for Movember. We're also, for the entire month, we have the classic Burt Reynolds shots. We're donating $1 of every shot sold over the month of November to Movember as well.
Chris says growing a mustache is fun, but for him, it's also a big change.
It's been 7 years, and I can count on one hand, maybe once, I believe, I lost to a bet that I shaved, and that was it. So I thought if there was ever a time to do it, it was the right cause and the right time.
Movember rules are simple. Once registered at Movember.com, all Mo Bros must start the 1st of Movember clean shaven. You also can't connect your mustache below the chin, that's considered a goatee, and it can't connect to your sideburns either, as that's considered a beard. There are many mustache styles to choose from, but the best way to get a nice mo is to let it grow, keep it maintained.
Just literally forget about it for the first little while. It's like losing weight. You don't want to jump on the scale for the first 2 weeks. Otherwise, you're going to get discouraged. The same thing with mustache. Just let her rip, and after the 2 weeks, just start maintaining it, because you're not going to get the right shape out of it if you don't.
I'm Peter Verge in Vancouver for The Express.
The website is Movember.com to register as a Mo Boy or a Mo Girl and to find out about upcoming events. Also, JD Barbershop is offering free mustache grooming for those of you growing a mo, and we want you to keep track of your progress. We're going to have a photo contest on The Express later this month with an awesome Movember prize pack for even more incentive than the biggest one, which is supporting and raising funds for men's health. You're watching The Express, and this is what's coming up after the break.
UBC's most satellite and the search for exoplanets.
Yeah, it's discovered the densest planet in our galaxy, so far that we know of.
Connections, the art of Stu Richardson at the Fort Gallery. You're watching local TV on The Express.
Community programming on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by...
The Express is brought to you in part by Plum, fashion supplier to host Johanna Ward.
Today's generation of young people spend the least amount of time outside of any generation in human history. We need to have children out, we need to have people out in order to see the world around that allows us to live. I think something like the Sea to Sky Trail is the epitome of what we need to get people back out into the real world, to see nature as it can be. and something that we are a part of and that we must fight to protect.
Decision 2011, local municipal election coverage on Shaw TV. Updates with commentary and analysis. Decision 2011 Election Night Special will be anchored by Global BC's Ted Field and Shaw TV's Bianca Solterbeck. Plus commentary and analysis by Frank Buchholz, Charlie Smith, and Jim Gallagher. Decision 2011, November 19th, starting at 7:30 p.m. Full municipal election results only on Shaw TV, Cable 4.
Welcome back to The Express at the Surrey Arts Centre. Behind me is Remix Surrey. It was a pilot project for a screen-based gallery developed by the Surrey Art Gallery. It features 96 youth from all of Surrey's communities. It was developed back in 2005, and now it's a permanent exhibition here. Pretty cool, hey? We're going to tell you about another cool project on today's space segment. We're learning about the MOST satellite developed by UBC.
Now, I'm sure you all know all the fantastic things that Canadians have invented over the years, things like the zipper, the paint roller, and frozen food. But Raminder and myself are going to talk about a Canadian invention that is more along the fields of astronomy. There's a Canadian invention, a telescope called?
MOST.
MOST. And MOST stands for?
Micro Variability and Oscillations of Stars.
I'm glad that they have an acronym for that. Now, MOST is a satellite that was developed and based at UBC.
So it's based by the Canadian Space Agency, and one of its headquarters is at UBC. It's a space-based remote-controlled telescope, and it doesn't take any pretty pictures like the Hubble Space Telescope does. It's just another fancy light meter.
Okay, a light meter. So how does that work as far as making discoveries?
It stares at stars and it determines the amount of light coming in from the stars, and it waits until, say, a planet passes in front of the star.
Okay, so I'm going to be the sun.
Okay, so over here we have a hypothetical planet. For example, the sun could be Jupiter.
All right, now you are MOST and you're staring at this star, right? Right? The sun that would be around
somewhere out there.
Yeah.
So as the planet passes in front of the star, notice that it blocks out some of the light. This is essentially an eclipse that's going on. And then it crosses, and the amount of light continues to be normal. MOST is one of the most sensitive light meters ever constructed. If it was on the Earth and it was staring at a street lamp, it could probably detect a mosquito or even a small insect at many, many kilometers away.
The reason that MOST is so exciting is that because probably something you've heard in the news as well, which is exoplanets. Now, exoplanets are planets that revolve around
other stars.
Other stars. So for them, that would be their sun, right? As the Earth is around our star, our sun. And MOST has found a really neat one, right?
Yeah, it's discovered the densest planet in our galaxy so far that we know of.
Cool. And how dense is it?
It's essentially a planet made of solid lead.
Ooh, geez. Right. So, and it's very hot on this planet because it's very close to its star.
It's an Earth-like planet, but that's where the similarities end.
Right.
It's slightly larger than the Earth, but it's over 8 times heavier.
Oh, geez. So now, if I happen to be living on this dense planet, which is called
55 Cancri E.
Ooh, and again, a very interesting name for it. The sun, its star, would be huge, right? Yeah. It would be like if I was holding a dinner plate up above my head here on Earth. That's how big the sun would look if I was on this dense planet. Now here on Earth, of course, I can block the sun out with my thumb because it's very small. So again, that kind of gives you an idea about just how close it is to that. And along with MOST, there's the Kepler space probe.
And then there's a Corot, which is a French mission as well.
Cool. And so over the next few years, we're going to be finding more and more of these exoplanets. And the hope is that maybe life is more common than we might think. Finding more of these planets around the star that's providing heat and light may provide those building blocks of the elements of being able to have life someplace out in space. Cool. For the Express here at the H.R. MacMillan Space Centre, I'm Cam Cronin.
I'm Raminder Samra.
And there is a really neat Canadian connection to trying to find possible life out in space.
Here's some more spacey science for you. It's projected that within the next 20 years, humans will leave low Earth orbit and head out beyond the moon. What do you think of that? Well, there's a talk happening at the H.R. MacMillan Space Centre on November 19th featuring NASA's Dr. Darlene Lim. She's going to talk all about that. And you can find out more at spacecentre.ca. What else is happening around town? We have your spotlight on local events.
Join the Hyde Creek Watershed Society to celebrate the return of the salmon to their spawning grounds. Located indoors at Hyde Creek Educational Centre in Port Coquitlam, there'll be plenty of exhibits, tours, and activities. Got the urge to rock out for a great cause? Virgin Mobile presents Bedouin Sound Clash and will light up the stage at Vancouver's Venue nightclub with proceeds to help create opportunities for at-risk and homeless youth in Vancouver. The Obaki Foundation is launching the Rainmaker auction this month on eBay. The foundation is aiming to raise funds to contribute to the drilling of 200 water wells in South Sudan.
As I've mentioned, there's also Remix Surrey here at the Surrey Art Gallery, a permanent exhibition, and they have a new exhibition, Finding Correspondences, which will be featuring on our next Express, a show that is dedicated to the arts of Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. In the meantime, we're going to leave you with the artwork of Stu Richardson, its Connections, at the Fort Gallery in Fort Langley. Thanks for watching the Express, only on Shaw TV.